It's Wednesday, May 8th. At the end of the fifth phase of polling, a whopping 3,360.73 crore rupees worth of cash, liquor, drugs, gold and freebies have been seized. Tamil Nadu leads the list of states in cash seizures, followed by Andhra Pradesh. You would recall polling in the Vellore parliamentary seat was cancelled after 15 crore rupees in cash meant presumably to bribe voters was seized from the house of a DMK functionary by IT officials. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court on Tuesday asked the centre to submit a status report on all cases relating to cash seizures made during the 2014 and the ongoing 2019 Lok Sabha elections within 24 hours. The Supreme Court was hearing an appeal filed by the Karnataka government challenging the High Court's decision to quash a criminal case regarding a cash seizure from Bellary Lok Sabha constituency in 2014. The bench is looking at the larger issue of what happens to the cash seizure cases once elections are over. The bench had, during an earlier hearing in April this year, observed that no political party wants to empower the Election Commission as it will cause them problems. It was submitted then that cases hardly get prosecuted since the officers who are part of the special teams constituted to crack down on the misuse of cash for elections get back to their routine work once elections are over, Hindustan Times reported. The Election Commission has asserted that once the cases are initiated, then it is the state's duty to pursue them. It is important to note here that the Election Commission had in April last year told the court seized cash is not treated as election expenditure till the case is finally decided in court, which is to say that even if a political party or a candidate is caught with cash evidently meant for bribing, the amount is not chalked up as election expenditure, meaning there is no penalty for spending beyond the mandated limit, and criminal cases are very rarely pursued by the state. Asserting that she had a right to know how, why, and on what basis the Supreme Court committee found her complaint of sexual harassment against Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi as having no substance, the former Supreme Court staffer has asked that she be given a copy of the report. On Monday, a 3-member inquiry committee had rejected her complaint, saying they found no substance in the allegations. It was also conveyed that the report will not be made public. I'm shocked that despite my detailed affidavit, ample corroborative evidence and clear, consistent statement before the committee reiterating my experience of sexual harassment and consequent victimization, the committee has found no substance in my complaint and affidavit, the complainant said. The in-house proceeding rules are now being used to deny me and the public a right to the report. I find it rather strange that the complainant in a case of sexual harassment is not to be provided with a copy of the report, which finds her complaint to be without substance, and that my complaint has been held by the committee to be this without giving me any reasons for the same, she said. The United States Food and Drug Administration has approved the first vaccine for dengue, Dengvaxia. Its use, though, is restricted. The US FDA statement says Dengvaxia is not approved for use in individuals not previously infected by any dengue virus serotype, or for whom this information is unknown. This is because in people who have not been infected with dengue virus, Dengvaxia appears to act like a first dengue infection, without actually infecting the person with a wild-type dengue virus, such that a subsequent infection can result in severe dengue disease. Therefore, healthcare professionals should evaluate individuals for prior dengue infection to avoid vaccinating individuals who have not been previously infected by the dengue virus. Dengvaxia is a live, attenuated vaccine that is administered as 3 separate injections, with the initial dose followed by 2 additional shots given 6 and 12 months later. Now, this vaccine manufactured by Sanofi has a controversial past. In 2016, the World Health Organization recommended the vaccine for all children aged 9 to 16, based on early results of several large trials that Sanofi conducted globally. The studies, though, showed some children who had not been exposed to dengue went on to develop severe forms of the disease after receiving the vaccine. On WHO's recommendations, the Philippines used the vaccine in a mass immunization program covering over 1 lakh children in 2016. A year later, Sanofi released new data showing the vaccine heightened the risk of hospitalization and plasma leakage syndrome, in which blood vessels start to leak plasma. This brought the Philippines' immunization drive to an abrupt halt. Its government started to look into the deaths of children who had been given the vaccine and launched an investigation into the procurement of the vaccine, leading to charges against several vaccine researchers. Yet, a dengue vaccine is one of the most sought-after medical interventions in the world today. The International Research Consortium on Dengue Risk Assessment, Management and Surveillance estimates, based on data for 2010, said that 390 million people globally get dengue every year. Around 96 million are symptomatic cases, with Indians alone accounting for nearly 34 million of them. Dengvaxia has not been introduced in India.
I'm really happy and excited to see my family and my colleagues. And I can't wait to go my newsroom.
You're now a Pulitzer winner prize. You've won the Pulitzer Prize. Do you think you'll be able to be a journalist in Myanmar in the future?
I'm a journalist. I'm going to continue.
33-year-old Wa Lone and 29-year-old Choso O, the two Reuters journalists jailed in Myanmar for their reporting on the ethnic cleansing of the Rohingya, walked out of prison on Tuesday under a presidential amnesty. The two were in jail for over 500 days. Their arrest and conviction under the Official Secret Act had sparked international outrage. At the time of their arrest, they had been working on an investigation into the killing of 10 Rohingya Muslim men and boys in a village in Myanmar's Rakhine state. This chilling photograph of 10 Rohingya handcuffed awaiting summary execution by the Myanmarese military was obtained by the journalists. The report published by Reuters in February 2018 pieces together what happened in the village of Indin in the days leading up to the killing of the 10 Rohingya, 8 men and 2 high school boys in their late teens. The report reads, "Until now, accounts of the violence against the Rohingya in the Rakhine state have been provided only by its victims. The Reuters reconstruction draws for the first time on interviews with Buddhist villagers who confess to torching Rohingya homes, burying bodies and killing Muslims. This account also marks the first time soldiers and paramilitary police have been implicated by testimony from security personnel themselves. Members of the paramilitary police gave Reuters insider descriptions of the operation to drive out the Rohingya from Indin, confirming that the military played the lead role in the campaign. It was the investigation into this massacre that led to the arrest of the 2 reporters. That particular investigation was awarded the Pulitzer Prize. And finally, Game of Thrones followers went crazy on the internet after a coffee cup was spotted about 17 minutes into the medieval show's Season 8's 4th episode, right in front of Emilia Clarke, who plays Daenerys Targaryen. Based on its shape and size, the cup was assumed to be Starbucks, and a mashup of House of Stark and the Seattle coffee chain, #Starkbucks began trending on Twitter yesterday. While some criticized the gaffe in production, others laughed about it being product placement. In a press release, HBO joked the latte that appeared in the episode was a mistake. Daenerys had ordered an herbal tea. Meanwhile, Starbucks had the last laugh, promoting their special dragon drink. Raise your goblets or coffee cups. We'll see you tomorrow. Love your morning fix? Help support our journalism. Subscribe to Scroll Plus using the link in the description.